Okay. All right. It's exciting. You guys good back there? All ready to roll? All right. Let's go. Rockets for liftoff. Ladies and gentlemen, for a 404 session here at Alt 105.7, Judah and the Lion. Come on in.
He's still our manager. He's back there. Hey Ben. um, but yeah, so like we just like booked this show after we had been told not to book the show, and it's like a real first like official show outside of Nashville, and I think 40 Watt held like 700 people or something like that, and we get there, and then there's like a very long line at the door, and the show had sold out, and it was like people were like singing these songs, and like my mom wasn't there, and it was like, what the heck is happening? And I think like for me, at least for in a lot of ways, that was like a moment that I always look back to. It was just like, oh, you know what, like maybe this could be something. So Atlanta and Athens and Georgia has just always been such a an important place for us. So I just needed to say that before we get into the song. Um, and I'm a big Braves fan. Grew up big Chipper Jones, all that stuff. So Atlanta's always kind of been like a place where I played baseball at East Cobb, and all the East Cobb baseball players and my best friends from the area that played college baseball with. And yeah, anyways, there's a lot of like things that we love. And in the Tabernacle, is anybody coming to the show tonight? Few, four people, five. Can I get a sixth? You'll have to ask Ben that. um, but that's like been like a dream venue of ours ever since we opened there a couple of years ago, and the fact that it sold out in the way that the fashion that it did, it just like we wanted to end the tour like we're kind of finishing up our folk hop and roll cycle purposefully in Atlanta. And yeah, so this today I was like, out of all the days of tour that we don't enjoy necessarily because you're like in work mode and you're just like, we enjoy every show, but like during the day we're like, we gotta work or we're in work mode. I was like, I woke up today, I forgot my guitar, my promo guitar. We had to go rent this one from Guitar Center. Shout out to John for grabbing it. But I was just like, I'm just gonna enjoy this today. So I'm like no worries today, which is stressing everybody out around me. But yeah. Anyways, to get to the songs.
By the way, do we need to? Did you all check if there was sound coming out of that? Do we need to adjust the knob? You're good. All right, just making sure.
Speaking of me not stressing out about anything.
Just want to make sure you can hear the guitar. Very good.
So this first song is kind of written about my 2016 was kind of like just an emotional year for me. It was a lot of very high highs and very low lows. Just to kind of talk brief moments. My first nephew was born, and it was just like this magical moment of like meeting him. My little sister, seeing her go through pregnancy and have this beautiful baby boy that kind of resembles a lot of her features, and it was just you know how it is. Just like, I don't know if you're an aunt or an uncle or a mom or dad, or I'm not a mom or a dad. Well, guess I'm not a mom. So I don't know how to explain that. But anyways, as an uncle, it was just like this moment that I'd kind of dreamed about as like a Southern boy, and very close with my little sister, and then about a month after that, my grandpa, who I was also very close with, kind of very suddenly passed away from lung cancer. And then 2 weeks after that, one of my best friends from high school passed away from cancer as well. And it was just kind of just like, if 2016, those are like the dramatic moments. It was a lot just like up and down, and yeah, like just for lack of a better word, it was just like emotional roller coaster. And I wanted to like bring that into songs. I feel like for me, like a lot of ways, the way I process through things is through writing songs, good or bad songs. And this is like a happy song, but in a lot of ways, it brings me back to just like, what am I doing with my life? If my grandpa died, odds are like if it's the right way, your grandpa's gonna die. That sucks, whatever. But then when your like best friend from high school passes away, it's a little bit more of like, oh my gosh, he's 25 years old. He was healthy last month, and all of a sudden he's not. And it was just more of like a gut punch, I guess. And it just reminded me of just like, what am I doing here? Am I like truly living and enjoying life? Am I like getting after it, or am I just like allowing myself to survive it? Or am I just like that person that doesn't know what he wants to get out of life and just kind of like roaming around, just kind of like whatever? And it gets so easy to do that for me, transparently, just to kind of survive. So this is kind of calling that out. This one's called Suit and Jacket. Let's get here. Good call.
And I ain't trading my youth for no suit and jacket. And I ain't giving my freedom for your money and status. So don't say I'm getting older, 'cause I'll say it when I do. 'Cause everybody I know is growing old too quickly. And I don't wanna go, no, how am I supposed to slow it down so I can figure out who I am? And I ain't trading my dreams for no 401k. And I ain't giving this fire for a cold, cold heart. So don't say I'm getting older, 'cause I'll say it when I do. I know is growing old too quickly, and I don't wanna go. No, how am I supposed to slow it down so I can figure out who I am? Some of us surviving, some of us just roaming, some of us just hoping the world would move more slowly. Some of us alive, we're all gonna die one day. Some of us surviving, some of us just roaming, some of us just hoping the world would move more slowly. Some of us alive, we're all gonna die one day. Some of us surviving, some of us just roaming, some of us just hoping the world would move more slowly. Some of us alive, we're all gonna die one day. 'Cause everybody I know is growing old too quickly, and I don't wanna go. No, how am I supposed to slow it down so I can figure out who I am?
Thank you.
Judah and the Lion, an alt 105.7's session. My name is Wendy Rollins. So, I don't think I have a microphone, so I'm just gonna talk to you guys. So,
Yeah, you can use that one.
I could use yours. I'm gonna sit with
Oh
yours.
yeah, please.
Cool. All right, thank you, sir. You're gonna have to move this back later. Wait. Hey. All right, now we're good. It's live, guys. So anyway, Wendy Rollins here on Alt 105.7, a 404 session with Judah and the Lion. First things first, that version of that song, that like bluegrass heavy, that's amazing. Because it really kind of breaks down the song, and you feel the rawness of a lot more. And I think those lyrics, that really speaks to it as well. Now, one of the things I wanted to jump to first, Nate, congratulations. Somebody got engaged. Yeah! Tell me the story. How did you pop the question?
Well, we got back from tour. I guess I live in Birmingham now.
'Kay.
So we played in D.C. on Monday and Tuesday. Drove back to Nashville. Wednesday, I got in my truck, drove to Birmingham, and I got home about an hour and a half before Taylor, my fiance, was getting home to her apartment. So I had her roommates let me in with their spare key and
Yeah.
kind of set things up in her apartment. And then she was very tired that day, and she'd
And
also
you're like,
been.
I just got one question.
But she needed help carrying stuff in from her car, and she was really wanting me to go get some food for her before she got home, and because she knew that like I would be home before her. She's like, "Please go do this for me." I was like, "I can't. I'm talking to my roommate. Sorry, he's really talking things up. I'm not going to be able to make it over there in time," and just lying a whole bunch. And I'd already lied a bunch about,
Great way to
when
start
I was
it.
going to propose and all these things. So I felt like it's the one time it's okay to lie.
It is. It is.
It's about that day. So anyway, when she opened the door with all of her stuff coming in from work, I was already on one knee in her apartment, and
Aw, Nate.
she just said, "Is this real? Is this real?
Are you
Is this
serious?
real?"
That was because my first question, I didn't say yes either. I said,
Yeah.
"Are you for real?"
Yeah.
That was my
No,
first.
that's
I had the
that's what
same
happened.
reaction.
And I stood up and like gave her a hug. She was getting teary eyed, and I like consoled her. And then realized she didn't say yes yet, so I got back on my knee.
I love it. I love
And
it.
then she eventually said yes. And
Awesome.
happily ever after.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, whether it shows up online or not, the big day, totally your business, but we give you our best wishes, you and the lady. Congratulations from here
Thank
on
you
out.
so much.
That's awesome. So let's talk Judah and the Lion now. Now, one of the things I've seen in your shows, and the first time I saw it, I was like, what's happening here? The shirts over the head.
Mm.
When did that start? And how did that start? Was that like an organic thing? Like, where did that come from?
Yeah, we that was something that happened in rehearsal,
Okay.
in the privacy of our own rehearsal, and we tend to like follow through on bad ideas that we have, and so I think it was our keyboard player Daniel, who's from Stone Mountain actually, but he had put his shirt over his head and was just like playing the song just to be stupid, and I think a couple of us caught his eye and were like, "That's really funny," and so we all did it, and we're like, we need to do this, like,
This is a
this
full-time
this
thing
made
now.
me laugh. This is going to make other people laugh. So we've been doing it during the shows, and I think the most well-received part is, like, the little kids in the crowd.
Yeah.
Like, if there's any, like, little boys, they think it's hilarious. And I always get pictures from, like, my parents' friends or my friends that have kids, and it's like they're little kids with their shirt over their head, which is
And you're like,
hilarious. I'm like,
"I got
I'm
your
a
number."
good influence.
I'm a good until they walk into a wall and fall over. But and that has nothing. Then you have no idea what they're talking about. That didn't come from me. Well, cool. I want to let you guys play a little bit more, and then we'll talk a little bit more. Cool.
Heck yeah.
Awesome. Judah and the Lion here for a 404 session on Alt 105.7.
Are you tuned for A?
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. We're trying to figure out. Turns out maybe the guitar from Guitar Center doesn't really work. So we're just here together, and I will try to play very, very loud for you. Okay. This next song is our newest single, and it's kind of just like written out of this place. I grew up, like I was talking about earlier. I grew up kind of like a major jock. Like big into basketball and always in East Cobb playing baseball and growing up and played in college. And when we were kind of starting this band, very much kind of pursuing baseball. And I something that just kind of shifted me my sophomore year, where I was just like, I just love music and I want to do music. But it was so hard for me to kind of admit that to myself, because baseball or sports to me is like you're good at it, or you make the team, or you're just not good at it and you don't make the team, or whatever. You're good and you play, and if you're not good, then it's like way more like, from my head, it's like just practical. It's like you're good or you're not. And I loved music so much, and like just couldn't, like, it's kind of like falling in love. It's like, you know, when you're dating somebody or whatever your story is, like giving your heart and actually like allowing yourself to fall is like so hard. Because you're like allowing yourself to get it broken, and I think that's like a lot of the ways it was for me. It was just like with music, I couldn't. You are a pro, dude. I couldn't like admit to myself that like I wanted to be a musician or a songwriter or an artist, because I was afraid that I would get my heart broken because nobody liked my music, if that makes sense. So this song is just kind of like, and I think it kind of embodies like everything that we're kind of about as a band. It's just like, at the end of the day, like every human, every person, young or old, or whatever, like we're all going through life in some version of insecurities or fears that we've kind of allowed ourselves to build up with our age, and we kind of create these walls with age that comes with insecurities that maybe we felt even as a kid. And this song to me was just kind of like a big like middle finger to all those insecurities and the walls and the fears that I guess I've kind of dealt with my life. So yeah, this one's called Going to Mars. That was very subtle and very nice.
My father told me that I could do anything. I don't know why I don't believe in myself. My fears, they permeate these walls that I've made with my age. It's getting harder to see it, But I know, do it is right, fight for the truth. Say something if it means something to you. Invest in a love, hope for the best. Follow what's on the left side of your chest. Be ready for highs, be ready for lows. Dream is a dream until you go through the mistakes. You'll find who you are. Don't reach for the moon when you go into Mars. We're going to Mars. 'Cause we can do anything we want. We can do anything. It's who we are. We can do anything. And our lives are more than just finding ways to get through it. Wanting more than just breathing. Well, my mother told me that I could do anything, and I think I'm starting to see it. But I know, forget the lies, remember the truth. Say something if it means something to you. Invest in the love, give it your best. Follow what's on the left side of your chest. Be ready for highs, be ready for lows. Dream is a dream until you go. Make some mistakes, don't forget who you are. Don't reach for the moon, you're going to Mars. We're going to Mars. 'Cause we can do anything we want. We can do anything. It's who we are. We can do anything. We're going to Mars. 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 We can do anything we want. We can do anything. It's who we are. We can do anything.
Thank you.
Judah and the Lion for a 404 session here at Alt 105.7. Again, I love these stripped down versions and those lyrics. That particular song hit me hard. There's just something about it, even just in listening to it now. I'm just like, they're so powerful. Is there talk of new music? Perhaps a new album? Take it all back, take it all back. 2.0, 4.0, 10.0.
Yes, there's new music happenings.
You're just gonna leave it at that. Damn it! He's been so chatty, and you're like, new music. Thanks. Okay. You're killing me, dude.
Yeah, we're writing and we've been on the road for the good part of this year.
Yeah.
This tour has been kind of a long one. We're kind of coming on our, if we're counting the Paramore cruise, we're coming on like Parahoy, which was a riot.
I was gonna say you've
hilarious.
already done it.
Yeah.
You're like, what? Oh,
So we're
yeah,
coming
that.
on like 50 shows, and we had a big show year last year, like coming close to like 250, 300 shows last year, and so riding a lot on the road and kind of preparing for that, and then this summer, the three of us kind of getting in and just kind of like figuring out what's in the notebook,
Yeah.
what's going on, and but I personally am just very, 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 very excited.
You are good. I
Yes.
love to hear that. So. I know there's a certain mystique that you should keep with new music, so I'm going to be a little evasive, but I am going to ask. About how many questions or how many songs or notes, shall we say, are you going into the studio with? A lot.
It's always kind of funny. Like I feel like my brain is kind of hard for that because we'll like continually write on the road, and
Will you
we're
write in the
writing
studio
and then,
too?
With our past few records, we couldn't afford more than like a week and a half in the studio.
Right.
And so like for this record, we're actually trying to spend more time and actually like it just feels like a third record for us, just transparently. Like we've been out with amazing bands since this record came out. So many, like 21 Pilots and John Bellion and Incubus and Jimmy Eat World and these people that have kind of like just kind of when you see like somebody like Incubus who has this following, which is like amazing and crazy, and obviously they were a little bit like more like in the late 90s, early 2000s, and then to combat that with like 21 Pilots, which is like the massive eruption that happened in the past 5 years. You just kind of learn from both. Like you learn like from Incubus and kind of like what their writing style and how their fans kind of operate, and then you, on the flip side of that, like a new like rock, pop, whatever 21 Pilots is, you can't kind of figure them out, which we kind of relate to that as well with what we do as far as our instrumentation goes. And I don't know, it just feels like we've learned a lot in the past few years as far as what kind of music we want to make, and obviously being on the road as much as we have been. Here I'm getting chatty. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
It's fine. No.
But we just learned a lot, and when you're leaving loved ones behind, and not behind, but in a lot of ways, just kind of like you're leaving home, you're leaving your people that you love, and being on the road, just it needs to matter. Like what you're doing, it just like for us, like it needs to be more than just music. It needs to like be about people and matter. We're kind of coming into the studio, which is with that mentality of like each song just needs to matter.
And do you feel like this new album, do you feel like this is a continuation of what we've heard from you guys? That's what you're aiming for? Or are you feeling new sounds for this album? Do you want to explore new dynamics and textures and everything?
Jazz reggae fusion.
You heard it here first. All right. Damn it, Nate. All right. Well, look, with that, I'm going to let you guys roll with it and play another song. Cool?
Can you do Little Girl Mine?
Sure.
Are you going to do something like
We're going to do something a little different.
So-
'cause
sorry
we're-
a jazz reggae fusion? Is that what you're doing right now?
Sorry to be so evasive.
All right.
I don't want to turn any people away. It probably won't end up being that, but there's
All good, man.
there's no way to know.
This is a Marley cover, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool, great.
So when Judah forgot his guitar this morning, me and Nate were kind of getting back to our roots, playing some bluegrass music. And sometimes we like to do a bluegrass song. So I guess that's what we're doing now. Juice?
Sounds good to me.
Sweet. And this
Are
is
you
called
guys good with a bluegrass song? They're good. We're good.
This is called Little Girl Mine in Tennessee. Oh, a long time ago when I left my home to roam down in the hills of Tennessee, was the sweetest little girl that was ever in this world, that little girl of mine in Tennessee. Oh, that little girl of mine in Tennessee, I know she's waiting there for me. Oh, one day I'll settle down in that little country town with that little girl of mine in Tennessee. Take it in. Oh, way back down south, there's a cabin in the woods, and that little girl's waiting there for me. Oh, I can see her smiling face, it's her waiting at the gate. That little girl of mine in Tennessee. Oh, that little girl of mine in Tennessee. I know she's waiting there for me. One day I'll settle down in that little country town with that little girl of mine in Tennessee. Oh, that
That was pretty impressive. I was not expecting that. I did hear you guys warming up with Garth Brooks, so I thought you were going to throw that at me. But I'll take it.
I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. Come on now. And I'll be okay. Well, I'm not big on social graces. Thing will slip on down to the oasis. Oh, I got friends in low places.
Country record. Country record.
This has been awesome. I know you guys have a lot of questions. You meet up with Judah and the Lion afterwards. Thanks again. Catch them tonight at the Tabernacle if you can weasel your way in there. Hopefully we'll see you out there. Thanks so much for watching an Alt 105.7 404 session here with Judah and the Lion. Thanks for coming. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. We're gonna play one more. Is that cool if we play one more song? Sorry, I was telling you, I was like, we're gonna play an extra one, and then we sometimes play like too many extra ones. But is it okay if we play one more for you?
That's up to you guys.
Okay, cool.
There you go. Answer.
I just gotta say it's been an overwhelming year for us in a lot of ways. It's just like to come back to cities or places that have kind of understood us from the very beginning. And this tour, I've kind of just like explained this tour as like a lot of news. There's like a lot of firsts and a lot of new things happening, playing bigger shows than we've ever played in cities that, we played in front of 200 people last time we were there, and then now it's different. And for us as a band, as a young band even, to come back to cities and places that believed in us from the very start, and then to come back to a station that played Take It All Back, like one of the first times as far as the world goes. And I don't know, like even iHeart has just been such a big part of our story in this last year, and getting like voted the best new rock alternative band was just like something that we were just like, what is happening? So I just want to just say we're just so grateful, and some of our team is here today, and we're so grateful for you guys as well. And it just feels like it feels like the end of the tour, and I always get like very sentimental and just kind of like emotional. Classic artist, songwriter, emotional. But anyways, this place means a lot to me, and thank you so much for supporting us from the very beginning. And we hope to continue to partner with you and come back to Atlanta and play, and come back here whenever you guys will have us. But this last song is kind of just like it's written. It's really funny. It's kind of like written out of this place of us like wanting to define what success was for us, and not allowing like anybody else to define what success is. And I think that's very important just for humans, just in general, if you're young or old or whatever. Define what success is for you, because somebody else will define it for you. And then if you tag along to that, then you're just going to be empty. And I think for us, we figured out just from bands and people that we looked up to at the time, and just like seeing bands or artists kind of at the end of their track just look so empty and so sad, and everybody's kind of walking around like kind of sad, their own version of sad, which is okay. But I think for us, it was just very important that we define success. So we had this moment right after our first record, right after we dropped out of school. We made this record, and we made it, and I guess Kids These Days came out in September. And then we got to play the David Letterman show in February, right before you retired. And it was like not even like really even on our radar of cool things to get to do, because David Letterman already announced that he had was retiring. So we were like, oh, well, we missed that boat. And then he ended up being like a random fan of the record. And so all of a sudden we were just on the David Letterman show. And it was just like this like moment of like, we did something cool, like we accomplished, we did something. And I think like it was such like this moment of like humility and like gratefulness, and even like so we played our song called Kicking the Leaves, and the song's like 3 minutes, And I'm pretty sure that night we played it in like 2.5 because we were so nervous. Like we played it so fast. So it was just like this amazing moment. But I think the next day for us was when real like clarity happened, and it was just like, oh, like we did something. We checked a box, and we thought that we would feel something the next day, and then that feeling like just kind of never came. And so it was very important for us in that moment to kind of meet and just be like, we need to define like what is success for us, because if it's just going to be like a bunch of boxes to check off our list, then at the end of all those boxes to check off, if we were able to check off a lot of them, it's still kind of just empty at the end of the day. And so like we wanted to make success about writing truthful music that's truthful to us, and making this about people, and making this about people that connect with the music. And in that way, we're kind of like helping each other through life, and kind of can become like some version of a family in the middle of all of it. And so when we're singing like Take It All Back, it's like, it's not about a particular thing. It's actually just about like a particular moment for us where we just like realize like no matter what, how many people are singing along to the banjo, dancing along, like coming alongside us, like at the end of the day, like we're waking up to the fact that like success is about people and not about how many Instagram followers you have or how cool you look. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for coming. I hope you have an amazing Friday. If you're coming to the Tabernacle tonight, which I guess only a few of you are, which is really sad. But next time we will be back. I promise you that. And we're super pumped for the show. So love you guys. We'll see you soon. Is this the right key?
Cool.
If you know it, please sing along.
Hey, my life is real great. Feel I'm well on my way to my dreams coming true, and I'm getting to do it with you. And it feels so nice when the people sing along. They're singing along with a banjo. But I take it all back, take it all back, take it all back. I take it all back just to have you. And I take it all back, take it all back, take it all back. I take it all back just to have you. And one day we might have a big house with nice cars and fancy clothes, and a wife with a big old diamond ring. Cause the people, they're dancing along to the mandolin and some sort of hip-hop beat. But I take it all back, take it all back, take it all back, take it all back just to have you. And I take it all back, take it all back, take it all back, back, take it all back just to have you. I'm waking up. take it all back, take it all back, take it all back, take it all back just to have you. Hey, my life is real great, feeling well on my way to my dream is coming true, and I'm getting to do it with all of you. Thank you.